Good morning. Oh, it's crooked. It's a crooked good morning. The actual thing.
Can't make it.
You have to turn the little knob right there behind it. Up, up.
This thing?
Up on the back of the phone. Behind the phone.
This?
Nope, the one behind it.
This?
Mm-hmm. You twist it, put it in the thing, and then twist it again to tighten it. There we go.
Well, it doesn't work when you tighten it. It crooks itself.
Whatever. We'll just have to be slightly crooked. It's okay. Anyways, good morning. Today's some breakfast at my house, and today we're going to finish our gnomes because, you know, we had to have 2 weeks worth of leftovers. Anyways, so, yeah, I still have 2 gnomes left to applique. I didn't do it because I figured I would refresh you how to applique on with the stitching part. One, I'll do this, and then one we'll do up close. They shouldn't take more than like 15 minutes each. And then we'll put our gnome table runner together. And I think explanation pattern is still set for this, right?
Oh, I don't even know.
For the book. Anyways, it's in the description below as well. So this is the book that I have worked from. It's Quilted Gnomes for Your Home, and it has 9 whimsical designs in it. And I'm actually thinking about making another gnome project other than this. So my cute little gnomes are different, but yet the same. And then these are the ones that are
it is for this
already appliqued right there. So now all I have to do is stitch this. But let's see who's here real quick, because I totally spaced that part. Aldia, Vicky, Shirley, Kay, James, Sue, Janine, Karen, Rebel, Kay, Sharon, Dawn, Mary, Marilyn, Mylan, Lori, Tammy, Becky, and so many more. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry, because I'm a name butcherer. Is that even a thing? A name butcherer? All right. So I'm using my Juki HZL F600 because this machine has zigzags and decoratives and blanket stitches and all the stitches that the TL 2010Q don't have. This is my other go-to machine. It's actually simple to use. It's just on the slower side that I'm compared to, that I'm used to. But it's definitely faster than the Brother SQ9285, which has all those stitches too. But that's just my when my kids come over, and so that's that machine. Oh, and it's on sale at SewingMachinesPlus. Scott put a link in. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I have it set to my blanket stitching number 4 stitch, and it's at 2.2 width and 2.4 length. So if Scott holds this up, you can see how close the stitching is. I only do this because raw edge applique deserves a little tighter of a stitch, as you can see. I prefer it that way. All right, so I'm going to start stitching, and he's showing you that. So I literally have the needle on the outside edge of the applique part that I'm appliquing, and I just make sure that the start is always on that edge as I go around. So, and it takes a bit of time. Like I said, this doesn't stitch like the Juki does. And you can just as well do straight stitch around your applique. I mean, there's never been anyone that says you can't do that. But if I were you and used a straight stitch, I would do 2 stitches, one at the edge and one 1/8 of an inch in from that, if you can. That just ensures that your applique, if it has to go through the wash, that just ensures that it's not going anywhere. Because fabric does fray. I'm so used to this, I can just line it up. And when we do the camera in front of it, I'll show you where I line it up at, and it lands pretty nicely each time. These little gnomes, though, have some really tiny pieces, so I'm making sure that these little tiny pieces get super stitched. You know, and I just sit here and da-da-da, you know, the whole time. Another thing that's important to have on a machine when you're looking for a new machine, just thought I'd go into this subject because I have nothing to talk about. If you're going to get a new machine and you're going to spend the money because you have $1,200 to spend on a new machine, make sure your machine has a knee lift. The knee lift is highly important for projects like this because when I finally stop to pivot, that knee lift keeps me from having to lift behind me every single time. And you get a little bit of exercise by using your knee to do it. You know, to lift that presser foot up.
Do you ever applique by hand?
I do not applique by hand. I do not do nothing by hand. I've made one hand quilt that I was supposed to hand quilt it, and I have yet to even do that. So it's just hanging in the closet, ready for me to hand quilt. I was actually tossed on the idea of if I should stick it on the long arm frame and use the frame as a frame to quilt it, as opposed to sitting in bed with it on my lap. But that means I would have to take up my frame for a couple weeks of hand quilting. But I think I would get more accomplished that way because I could stick my one arm underneath and one on top and hand quilt. Honestly, that would probably be the easiest way. And I can get better stitches, I think. I'm not very good with hand stitching. That's probably the least interesting thing that I do. All right, I'm going to move on to the gnome hat. I'm kind of just going around in order of how things sit and what's closest to me. Oh, and I didn't even do it where I was supposed to start. What a dummy. I'll have to make sure to stitch that. It's not very hard to do. It just takes a while. It's a longer process to make blocks with applique, especially the ones that have small pieces and raw edge. And if you move them around too much before you sew them, then you can take the chance of having your fabric fray even more, even with it being glued. See how easy that was just to use a knee lift to pivot? I find it a lot easier. One more stitch.
How is it that you can move the fabric?
How can I move the fabric like this? I'm just used to it. I don't know. I'm just used to things with this. So I just move it really easily, smoothly. I walk it around, following that edge. That way I don't have to like constantly pivot, you know? It's I don't know how I do it. I just do it. Practice, practice, practice. That's what it is. Funny thing is I don't practice applique. I just do it because oh nope, that goes this. Screw it. Let's just go right here. I'm just used to doing this. And the machine's going slow, so that helps me. I have it pedal to the metal though, and I have it all the way to rabbit. I don't have it on turtle. But this is not fast enough, so that's why I can do this, I think.
Machine's too slow for you.
Yeah, this machine's too slow for me, but you know what? I think if it was faster, my applique would probably be really, really sloppy.
Do you have any hints on how to use the thread cutter successfully?
How to use the thread cutter successfully. Well, if it's built into your pedal, don't touch your heel on the pedal. Just keep your tippy toe on it. So you're activating your calf muscle to keep your top of your foot on it only. You're not resting your foot or your heel on the whole entire pedal. Just keep the top part. And when you're not on the pedal, I move my foot completely off. Then when I need it again, I just put the top on. So you're activating your muscles in your legs.
How big is the throat space in that machine?
Throat space on this one, I think, is 9 inches.
And what do you have underneath your fabric there? It's paper. What is it?
Oh, I have SF101. That way, it's a stabilizer when I do this, so that I don't have to use paper. Pretty sure this is a 9-inch hearth. Let's see right now. Okay, it's 8-inch. From the needle to the center is 8 inches. So you could free motion quilt on here, even. I have not used this machine for it because I don't free motion quilt on sit-down machines, unless it's like a little project. But even then, I take most little projects to the long arm. I own a long arm. I use my long arm. I did in the beginning, so if you need to see any free motion quilting, there's a whole lot of them somewhere in the old videos, but you really can't see what I'm doing in some of them because, again, old video, old camera, disaster, you know. See, this isn't that hard. Yeah, I'm still on the first one. This machine's too slow for me to be on the second one already.
Just making sure.
Oh, there, put them right there. Got to get my little tails as I go too. He has nowhere to go. He's like, you took all my hidey holes. The cat Thumper's meowing at Scott because Scott's washing all of Thumper's bed stuff, all his hidey hole blankets and quilts and everything. Because they do get covered in fur, and soon, it's not right now because it's actually chilly this morning, and it should be chilly again tomorrow morning and the next morning. So we haven't shaved him yet, but he'll get shaved probably this week because it should warm back up again. It's weird that it's cold, especially because it's mid-April and
It was just 100 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was just 100 2 days ago. Where were we? On the subject of applique. It's best to use a stabilizer underneath your applique. Because when you go to stitch it, if you don't, and it's just plain fabric, then you're going to get crumpling of your project. And you don't want that. So you can use a piece of paper if you want. I've done that in the past. It's in videos. Or you can put stabilizer underneath it, which I chose to do with this project because the pieces were so small. I figured, you know, it's probably best to have actual really, oop, what happened here? Something happened here. Where's my needle up button? Nope. That's this one.
Something happened. Don't know what, but something.
Oh, it tangled. That's strange. That's not happened on this machine. Gotta find where that thread went. under, over, down, and up, over. One thing I do like about this machine is the needle threader. I don't know why they don't put this needle threader on the TL 2010Q. This thing is magnificent. It works every time. But on the 2010Q, nope. I can't use that one for the life of me. All right, let's get this long thread out of the way now. I think I got that, both hands, both feet. A string right here. Now I just need to go around the base of the mushroom. And then we can move on to number 2, and I'll have Scott put the camera over here.
What if when you use the thread cutter, it's a button, and you cut the thread, and then the machine comes unthreaded?
From using the button?
Yeah.
If it comes unthreaded, it just means the tail is not long enough. I don't know how to control the length of the tail, honestly. Don't use the thread cutter, though, when your presser foot is up. Always use it when it's down so that the thread stays down in there, if that's a good hint for you guys. I don't use the thread cutter when the presser foot is up, only when it's down. Ta-da! So this Gnome is now Gnome. One more to go. We're going to move the camera now over here to, what's the word? Watch. He's typing right now, so it'll be a second. This guy has a little bit of lifting happening. It's because I moved my blocks around a little too much.
Thumper's allowed on the bed and the couch all he wants.
Yeah, Thumper can get on the bed and couch all he wants. He just doesn't.
He's just mad because Daddy's washing.
He's mad because all the blankets and stuff are being washed. Oh yeah, camera's moving. I forget to tell you guys for those that get busy.
Remove the trash.
Mm-hmm.
That might help.
All right, I'm gonna set it
You got no.
right there. Perfect. Yeah, but then they don't see it. We're trying to look at the needle. So there's the needle. In this, there's a gap. See my finger going into that little gap? That little gap is where my needle is going to land. So I put the fabric along that gap that's in this plastic presser foot. I don't even know what foot it is. It's I. So I'm using the I foot on this machine right now. All right. I'm going to find an edge to start on, and I'm just going to put that little hook that's there and start going around. It's not very hard. You guys can see up close now how my fingers actually, I just pull the fabric as I twist, I'm using my fingers to rotate it as I go.
Is it tacky to use muslin on the back of quilts?
Is it tacky to use muslin on the back of a quilt? No, you can use whatever you want on the back of the quilt. I highly, highly advise against using polyester bed sheets, though, or polyester fabric at all. Unless it's like the cuddle, because that's obviously a polyester. So I don't really have much, this is just like free motion quilting. You don't hold the fabric tight, you just, tickle it. I told you, when I did free motion sit down, used to tell you guys, don't massage your fabric, tickle your fabric. That's a big key to moving things around like this. So I'm literally just walking it, so I don't have to do anything or pivot. I just let it do its thing. And I just barely move it. just follow that little crease thing all the way around against the edge of your applique. And see, the presser foot eases off at certain stitches, so it does allow you to move it with ease. So each time it goes back, forth, up, you can see that the presser foot lifts itself a little as the needle goes up and down. So it allows you to turn if you do it right. See, I'm barely even touching it. I got one fingernail on it. It moves pretty easily.
If you slow down, does that help a beginner?
If you slow down, yes, that helps a beginner. And if you've never done this before, obviously take it slow. But on this machine, let's just put it on turtle real quick. This is turtle. I don't think I can do this at all. I do not have the patience for this one. Speed it back up. But yes, make it slow or keep it on the rabbit, but adjust your foot on the pedal. You don't have to put as much pressure once you get used to a sewing machine, you know? So I'm going to stop right now, break thread, bring myself over to right here for the hat. This hat I will have to adjust with the knee lift because this one has a lot more curves, although I might not have to completely. We'll see right now. Cool part about the clear foot, or any clear foot on your sewing machines, is you can see through them, which allow for better stitching so that you can line things up better. Yeah, I have to pivot right here. So I just use the knee lift, pivot, go on my merry way. While I'm right here, I will snip away this thread that I will later drag through the house.
Yep.
Because I have a bad habit of throwing the thread on the floor in here when I'm sewing and snipping. But Scott vacuums in here for me once a week, so it cleans up all those lovely threads. And they're not like the long kind that tangle the vacuum, so that's a good thing. Or else we would have a really messed up vacuum. All right, so now I'm going to go on his beard.
I clean our vacuum.
And see, I just use my fingers to walk it. Once you get used to applique, it's like second nature. It's really easy. All right, while I'm right here, I go into the hand. Because we want all these little bits stitched down.
See, the top thread is in a large spool. What is it sitting in?
The top thread is not a large spool, it's a medium spool.
Well, what's
So,
it sitting in?
let me tilt this. This is the thread thing. This is the holder, so it keeps it from popping off. This is a spool of Orifil thread. It's 50 weight. And in the bobbin, I have pre-wound bobbins in the bobbin right now because I have pre-wounds for this machine. But yeah, it just sits in here, and then you can close it, and nobody has to stare at that, even yourself. All right. Yeah, it just sits in the thing up there so that you can close it. All right, so I just go from piece to piece. See how long this thread tail is on mine when you cut the thread with the thread cutter? It's a pretty long tail. All right, I'm going to pivot and do bottom of the heart. And stop right there. Turn the whole thing. Then I'll go up into the hand and do this hand. Stitch right there. You just take your time, one stitch at a time. You can see where they're going to land. And now I'll go up into the rest of this arm. I'm going to do the top of the heart. I'm going to come over to the other side of the beard and then do the nose.
Are the feed dogs down?
The feed dogs are up. You do this with your feed dogs up so that it walks the fabric through. That's another thing that helps with the whole pivoting right here. All right, so I'm going to go right into the nose. Pivot. Get rid of this connecting thread, which is from the cut when I use the thread cutter on the machine. It's a pretty long tail. All right, now for the bottom of the beard. No, I'm okay for now. I'm good for now. Thank you. Yeah, I used white for the background of this darn thing and didn't even think about the beard touching it. So I'm kind of glad that I do the stitching because it separates the beard from the background. All right, now I'm going to do the bottom of the cloak or dress or tunic or whatever you want to call this dumb thing that he's wearing. Okay, stop it there, pivot. I'll go right into this foot, go around this foot. Start again right here on the bottom of the tunic. Go into the other foot. Strip away these threads. Finish the last of this. And then all I have to do is the base, and then we can trim these and start putting them together in a table runner. All right, that thread, I'm gonna go around the base. So it really doesn't take that long. I mean, you want to make a lot of blocks, and it's like 15 minutes a block.
How often is the chat live?
I am live every single Sunday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. And then I am live the first and third Thursday of every single month for Breakfast at Tiffany's at 8 a.m. Arizona time. Just remember, everything's Arizona time because I don't change times here. East Coast and Central and Pacific all change time. So you're either 3, 2, or however many from another country hours ahead of me, or at the same exact time as me if you're Pacific right now. But East Coast is 3 hours ahead, Central is 2 hours ahead, and Mountain Standard is an hour ahead. Okay, see? So there's that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to put the camera back on the other side so that you can watch me put this together now. Camera is going to move. And we're going to continue on this machine. We're not even going to switch machines out. I'm going to piece it on here too, which is...
Are you sure? I can easily lift it.
No, we're
Right
going to
there.
piece it on here. So I'm going to sew slow, but that's okay. I need a magnetic seam guide though, because I am not good at this whole seam thing. I have one somewhere around here. Okay. Magnetic seam guide, where are you? It's not under here. Don't forget to plug it back in.
Well, it's
Not
this
going.
thing that you're saying is not keep it.
Okay, I don't know what happened to the magnetic seam guide. This is gonna suck.
I've done this 3
Give me
times now, and it's just. Is the seam guide on the other machine? Maybe?
Nope, that's the big one.
Oh.
Oh well, it's not gonna go. Where is my seam guide? It was right here with the machine when I put the machine up here. Put it up in there. I could have swore I stuck it in this little thing, but I guess not. Oh well, we're gonna work without it. It didn't fall over there either. All right, so the next step is I need to trim these. Do I have a 10-inch square? I mean, no. They need to be 10.5 inches. So I'm going to line this up and get rid of all that interfacing because the block still seems to be 10.5. That way brain doesn't think that that's the edge, with the interfacing, because I did cut the interfacing a little bit bigger than it needs to be because I always do that. Bad habits. All right. This one up on here. Yeah, look at that. It stayed at 10.5 exactly. Two. Yeah, this one. Look at that. I made that stick out even further. All right, this guy kind of shifted a little bit, but that's okay. As long as it's pretty much 10.5. Three. And one more. And yes, I have washi tape on my ruler from previous blocks. If you guys are wondering why it has those blue tape looking lines, that's just washi tape. That's how I mark things. If I got to cut something over and over at that same size, I see it better with the tape. Alrighty. Now, the dark blue is my outer border. We are going to place these like this. One up, one down, one up, one down, because this is a table runner. So they're going to be laid out like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 2-inch strips off of here and then subcut them to 10.5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 pieces are going to be, oops, why am I doing that? I have no idea. 2-inch by 10.5 inch. So I just need to cut 2 strips for that. 2 2-inch strips. 1. And then 2. And then I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 for the top and bottom. 2, and 1 more. And these ones I will sew together. Place that aside. I'm going to subcut 2 of these into 10.5 inch. Oops. Wow, I really can't cut straight today, huh? There we go. All right, this is going to make my life easier. Just take a 10.5 inch ruler, line it up where I just cut, and there's 4. And then your phone is ringing. Yep. And this, oops, is number 5.
Hello?
All right. And that's a cut, that's a cut. Here's my 4, and that's 5. Okay, there's my sides, and then these will get sewn together to do my top and bottom because it's going to be needing more. All right, so I'm just going to cut the selvage off, and then these will get sewn together end to end. All right, we're going to do this without a seam guide. Let's see if we even can. I'm going to pull that bottom piece out, and they should be right sides together. These are going to be for the top and bottom, just sewing them now. All right, I'm going to assume, oh, hey, you know what? There is a button on here. Hold on, guys. We are going to press 1. How do I get back to that main screen? Sorry, I don't use this machine very often. So we're going to go to, nope, not that. We're going to go to that and press the 1/4 inch one, which is that one right here. Look at that. All right, so there's 1, and then I need to sew this second piece right sides together. All right, and here is my long strip. That will be for that top and bottom. Now I just need to go ahead and attach my 10.5 inch pieces on these gnomes. I'm just going to line it up on here and hope that I can sew straight the whole way.
How would you go about finding a quilting group in your area?
How would you go about finding a quilting group in your area? Well, see, my head is chopped off like this. I just realized that. You need to go online. So say, like me, I live in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. So you would type guilds and then just put Quilting Guild and then your city name and state name. And most quilting guilds have some sort of website. So then you just click on their website and then that's how you find sewing groups. Because the Quilting Guild usually, where's my back stitch? There we go.
Okay, the library, that's a good idea.
Or you can go to the library. Yep, that you can do too. Our guild has a sewing group that meets at the library. I think they do it twice a month or something like that. All right, can you plug the iron in for me? Yeah. So that one's on there. So now I need one on this side. This one's fine because the other one's in my fabric room right now. Sure, if you want.
Ooh, I get the iron.
He's happy. He gets the iron. All right, and then that will go there, and then one will go on that far side. So I'm gonna turn this around, put one on this side. And if this table runner doesn't turn out all that great, it's only because I can't sew straight. And then one more will go on the far end over here.
Am I ready to iron something?
Yeah, press those back towards the blue. So I'm gonna put this on here.
Looks like blue looks good on here. You know?
Yep. All right, so then this will go there. Let's put these back in their places once he irons them.
Well, I didn't know it was iron. Sorry. How many more do I got here?
Just that.
Okay.
So these two I will put together.
You belong to a quilt guild?
I do not belong to a quilt guild, but I do know a majority of the quilt guild members here. I just don't want to be tied down, you know? Plus, I'd never end up at meetings because I really just don't go to stuff like that because I don't leave my house. But I do enter shows and stuff like that the guild holds. I just pay, a self-entry fee. All right, once that's on there, this one goes on this end and that one goes on this end. So I'm going to sew this on here. Line it up. All right, come on, slide. There we go. Yeah, there's gonna be these when I'm done sewing them together. Oops. It almost tried to go sideways on me, my friends. The piece got all sucked down in. All right, and then this one goes on this side. That way, yep. And then you'll have to press these in-betweeners.
Okay. Betweeners, huh?
Yes, the in-betweeners, and then we'll add the top and bottom. Which right now you can just press the seams on here. Find the seams and press them somewhere.
Huh?
Find the seams and press them.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
Oh, these things?
Yeah.
Does it matter which way?
Nope.
Okay.
Try to sew straight, try to sew straight, la 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 la. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. All right. So then all you have to do is press this back and this and this. All the ones that are sticking up.
One thing at a time. You just gave me this.
All right, while he's pressing that, we're going to choose how much. I got to think about this real quick. How big is this going to be?
Oh, you tell me. How big is that going to be?
Let's fold it in half and see real quick. Get an estimate. That's 24 and 24 is 48 plus the ends. Let's do,
Okay. What do you want on that?
Oh, I'm going to sew it on after you press these. I guess you can get this flat for me. I'm trying to see how much yardage is here to what I can cut it into. All right, we're going to do some math on the calculator. All right, I have 26 and a half-ish inches here. So we're going to go, let's say, 4-inch times, oh, no, 26. 26 divided by, let's do like 8. Nope. 7. Nope. 6.
Okay, what am I doing
So
now?
yeah, I can cut 4 inches off of this. Clear. And be safe.
This?
Yes, make that flat so I can cut it. All right, so I can do 4-inch border all the way around.
Am I opening it up or am I just ironing this?
Just ironing that the way it is. All right, now I'm going to put these on, the top and bottom, or sides, depending on the angle you're actually looking at this. So I'm just going to attach them to the sides. And then, I didn't do it.
Oh, you were the last one messing with it.
Oh.
When you were trying to get this straight, and it's not worse than it was before.
All right. I'm just going to go down this, and then I'm going to cut it to size. I'm not adjusting, pulling, tugging, or anything on my fabric. Boy, this feels like it's taking forever. I'd have been done now if I was on the TL.
You would be.
I bet you my magnet fell in the trash can, because it did last time. Fell in the trash can.
Oh, okay.
Because I had placed it right here and it shook out.
It feels awful light.
It shook off the table.
I don't see it, honey. I don't feel nothing in here.
Okay. I'll look for it later. All right, now that I got it to where it's at the all on the table, I'm just going to fold it onto itself, lining up the fabric. And I'm literally going to slice it to size. That way I don't have to do any measuring, you know? I don't like to measure.
You're looking for the normal little one, right?
Yep.
That one's got the big one. I don't know where you put that sucker.
All right, turn it around and do the same exact thing.
Okay, underneath the machine, maybe?
I don't know, maybe it did, I don't know. And after this is on, we're going to cut 4-inch strips off of my outer border, and then this table runner will be done. But I'm not done there. Oh, this is going to be so wonky because I can't sew straight.
Hello.
All right, I have the whole thing on the table. I'm just going to fold it onto itself. Line it up with the end. Line the strip of fabric up. make my cut. And there's my lovely piece all sewn. I mean, all cut to size, and now all sewn. Okay, and then I'll press this back because the Iron Man had to take a phone call. Honestly, 4 inches might be too big for this as a border. I don't want it to be huge of a table runner. I might just cut like 3 1/4 maybe. We'll see in a minute. Let me at least press this on here. Sorry, I'm over at the iron because Scott's on the phone. He's dealing with the VA. And if you are a veteran, you know how that is very important to answer your phone because it's very rare that they call you and talk to you. The government sucks when it comes to helping their veterans with medical. All right. Yeah, I think 3 1/4 is a better number because it's already this wide, see? So it's already 13 1/2 inches. I don't want it to be too big of a table runner. So I'm just going to cut 3 1/4 inch strips. All right, so I'm going to line this up. I'm going to straighten up this edge. All right, we're going to do 3 1/4. I think that'll be better. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and then a third. 3. So I need 4 strips that are 3 1/4. 1. I'm kind of not following the book, but I might be at the same time. I don't know. 2. 3, and 1 more. You might want to plug it in too.
Yeah.
And 4. All right, so I don't need this. This can go there, out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is put these end to end and then attach them to each other. And again, this is all just scrappy stuff. I didn't match anything up. I just grabbed some fabric and said, this is what we're doing. You guys know how I work. All right, so I'm going to cut all those. I'm going to go over to the machine, plop my ass down. Oops, I said a bad word. I'm sorry. Pull that bottom one away. The next two should be right sides together. And then I just sew them with their 1/4 inch or thereabouts because, again, you know, I'm not very good at that. And then the next two are right sides together. Come on, right there. And then the next two are right sides together. And then the top one is a loner. And this will allow me to have my borders all one long strip. Snip them apart. And I'm going to press the seams real quick. Just give me a second. That fold. Oh, it's not even plugged in. No wonder it's not working. I was wondering why it's not hot. Sorry, guys. I got to wait for the iron to get warm again.
thought we had to put stuff on.
No, you just need a little bit of water because the stuff's already on the rag.
Oh. Mine's just falling apart around here.
Go. Sorry, guys. Just takes a second to press this. And now we can sew it on. Let's close that blade because, you know, I always forget to close the blade. And I'm going to start with the sides and then, the outer sides and then do the top and bottom. So I'm just going to sew one of these, right side to the other on this side. I'm not even going to cut it to size because I really don't need to. Again, I long arm quilt all my own quilts and I've never had bowing or bunching or whatever you guys want to call it. I only see that because I am a long arm quilter for others. I actually only see that with diagonally pieced borders. I don't really see it with straight seamed pieced borders. You do it this way and you're guaranteed to have it the exact size of that side of the quilt. Whether your quilt turns out, you know, a 1/4 inch bigger on one side than the other, hey, you know what? At least you have flat borders. So much dust. All right, now I'm going to put this side. Just going to grab this again. Right sides together. Now the full thing's on the table. At this point, I'm just going to finger press this back and then attach the sides, or top and bottom. It really doesn't matter because a table runner really has no sides or top or bottom unless it's a directional only table runner. Then it does. And I'm going to back stitch and sew on down. Very carefully, like. I can't seem to keep my pedal underneath my foot right now. It's a sliding around. My TL2010Q's pedal is stuck to the, what is that thing called again? My pedal pad, because it had sticky stuff on it. And the TL2010Q foot pedal does not work with this machine. It does, it works in a pinch, but it actually messes it up. It's I don't know why, but it sews weird. And the knee lifts are not interchangeable as well, but the power cord is, so I guess that's a plus. As long as the power cord is interchangeable, we're good. Because technically, if you don't have the pedal plugged in, this machine has a start and stop button, and you can just sew with that. And it'll sew without a foot. You don't need a foot. You just need to press a button. Which I never use that because I'm always like afraid that it's gonna, what's the word for it? It's gonna go beyond my ability to press the stop button. Because I'm not used to that kind of thing. Does it even work with it? Yeah, it has to be unplugged from the foot pedal. And back stitch. Turn it around and attach the other side, and then all I have to do is press it, and this table runner will be table runnery. to make sure that this is right side. Yep, that's the right side. Look it to the end. Back stitch and go. All right, whole thing's on the table. Just need to fold this and trim it. Oops. No, don't do that. There we go. And there's my leftover. Back stitch. All right, let me press this and we'll put it on the wall. But first, let me put that ruler away so that it's not on the ironing board. No. I think this is a perfect size table runner, even though I don't even know how big it is. You know, I just don't know how big it is yet. We'll figure that out in a minute.
I'll measure it when you're done.
You can grab the measuring thing now. Kind of seems a little wonky. But that's just because I sewed it on a machine that I don't actually sew on. I only use for applique.
53. By 19.
19 by 53. You can tip that camera up. We're going to put this on the wall.
Well, now it's on the wall.
I'm going to smooth it out. These are kind of heavy blocks due to the fact that, you know, they're applique blocks. So there, that is. But remember I said I wasn't done? Guess what, my friends? I made more gnomes. These ones are already stitched. This is what I did in my spare time, you know, between videos. So I made more gnomes. They have the same tops and bottoms, but different, they're dressed differently. And this one, we're going to turn into a wall hanging. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these blocks because they're ready for all that already. I'll grab the ruler that I put away. And I'm going to make sure that these are the size they need to be. And then I'm going to do that same exact thing, except we're doing a wall hanging. Because why not have two different style projects? So that you guys know how these gnomes can be fit into any project. You know? I mean, you gnome?
You know?
You
I
gnome?
like that. You know?
You gnome, I'm getting better at this every single day. You gnome, I actually like these gnomes. You gnome, I'm an idiot. I know. Everybody gnomes me. Sorry. You know, there's some things that you can just pun away, you know, and it's silly. And Gnomes just so happen to be it today. Tomorrow it'll be something else.
Easter's on Sunday. Tomorrow after Easter.
Yes, Easter is Sunday. I hope you guys all have plans. Well, have some kind of plan to have family, friends, children. Yeah, I don't know who else.
We'll be here.
Church, you know,
We'll be here.
whatever. But we will be here. I will be going live with, I know last minute to do something, but I have an Eastery themed project that's going to be super easy, but you guys will never be able to do it because I'm doing it with vintage fabric, like super vintage fabric. But, you know, the fact of the matter is it's Eastery, and, well, I'm going to do that on Easter. Scott and I usually just go to church, and we have brunch with everybody at church, and then we come home and pretend like there's nothing going on at all.
Come home and take a nap before we work.
Yeah, we come home and take a nap, and all right, so I grabbed a big giant thing of scraps here to do this. I'm going to go with purple here on this one with a pretty cute little flower Riley Blake fabric that I had. But I'm using this purple, which is just whatever, as my sashing for my wall gnomes, for my wall hanging. Why? Because now I'm obsessed with making gnomes.
But they're fun.
But they're fun. They're cute. And this was completely out of my realm as well. So, you know, it's different to do something. I'm going to do 2.5 inches on these because these guys are a wall hanging. So I'm going to do 2.5 inch strips. 2. And these are not even full strip pieces. So I need 3. Hold on. I got to count how many I need. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all the way around her, which I have to piece anyway. Which is going to have a lot of seams because this was not a full-length strip of fabric. And 1 more should be enough, I think. We're just guessing here. All right, move that out of the way. We're going to cut 10.5 inch. I just need 4 to start for my in-between sashing. Come over to 10.5 and 10.5. Look at that. I do need to fix this side because I think I cut it crooked. Why? Because, you know, I'm a little lopsided today. I'm working on a machine that I don't normally work on. All right, let's attach these like this. Oh, I need a cornerstone of the pretty blue. That's what I need to do. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off of that, off of the outer border fabric. Probably be best to sit for this. This machine I can't stand with because this whole front edge, I can't see the needle because all this stuff is in the way. All right, and then I'm going to slide this one in, and then we're going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off of my border fabric for a cornerstone. Just one cornerstone. I could do outside. No, I can't because I'm using it as a border fabric. Never mind. All right, will you press these back for me, please? Thank you. And then I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off of here real quick. Pretty much right there. Edge. that up, make a single cut, turn it around, and cut a 2.5 inch strip. Oh, 1 2.5 inch. You know what I'm gonna do actually?
Only 2 of these? Iron?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut 3 1/4 inch strips now because there's not much fabric here. 1. And then I'll cut a little 2.5 off the end of it. That makes more sense. 2. 3. And 4. And then I'll get a 2.5 off the end. Oh, I could probably get a 2.5 inch strip, but I don't want that extra 2.5 inch strip at the moment. We're just going to grab a 2.5 inch square off of the edge of this one right here. And then everything will get pieced together. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my 2.5 inch square, we'll do all that in a minute, on one side, right sides together. Close that blade for a moment. I'm going to press it towards the purple and then add my other 10.5 inch strip on the other side. This will create that sashing for in between. Pressing towards the purple. Grab my blocks and put red down here, this one down there. We're going to put these right sides together. So this other side on. There. Yeah, when I stitched these extra ones to make the wall hanging, I actually used a different stitch on these ones. Can you press that flat now, please, for me? Thank you.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get over.
Towards the purple.
Yeah, I got you. I know my business.
A little tiny clip thread just came and like flew itself at my eye. That was the weirdest thing. I saw it come at me from the machine. All right, and then this one, there you go. Press towards the purple. And then I'm going to now attach this, waiting for him to do that. I'm going to attach my sashing now. Right here. Nest my seam. Stop in the seam, nest the second seam. Stop in it, line up the end, and keep going. All right, I'm going to press it towards the sashing. I'm going to have Scott press it flat though, so that I can add the other side to it. covered in little bits of thread again. I never seem to get away from the little bits of thread.
They're everywhere.
All right, now I'm going to put this on the opposite side. Line it up, nest that seam, line up the end, and sew. So. So that you know what I'm doing here today, I am making a wall hanging now. Sorry. I'm just going to start saying that from now on, anytime I work with gnomes. All right, let me press this real quick, and then we will add the top, bottom, and side. Sides, top, then bottom. You know what I mean. And then we will have a wall hanging. So adorable. All right. So I'm going to go all the way around it with the purple. I'm going to see how long these lovely pieces are, though, real quick, because they might. Oh, look at that. I don't want edge seams. Oh, man, I don't like when this happens. All right, I'm going to cut. Oh, you know what? I have a way. These can go in my scraps to make no edge seams by taking this piece. Look, it's the full length it needs to be. I'm going to cut a 2.5-inch strip off the length of this.
There you go.
Actually, I'm going to cut more than one because I have plenty here. So I'm going to fold it like this instead along the selvage. Smooth it out, turn it this way. And I'm going to grab the longer ruler, which my thing doesn't stay on anymore. I think it's lost its sticky or something. It just needs to be washed. My shower handle thing that I used on my ruler. Turn
Do you have
this.
an AccuQuilt die for the gnomes?
No, I do not have a quilt die for the gnomes. They were all cut from the book. Oh, we want 2.5 right here. So I'm going to cut 4 2.5-inch strips off of it this direction. Yeah. And see, the other ones just go in my scraps anyway, you know, because this was a giant piece of scrap from the back of a quilt. So it really didn't matter if I cut it into a bunch of different pieces. 3 and 1 more. Look at that. I had plenty. And now I don't have to have any seams around that. Throw that over there. I love when a plan works out. So now, the no seam way, I'm literally just going to attach these and I'll have no seams. Because that's the better way to do things. All right, move that out of the way. Turn it right sides together. So I'll do the 2 sides and the top and bottom. I'm still going to cut it to size because, you know, that's just how I roll. All right, whole thing is on the table. Perfect. I don't need that. Grab another one for the opposite side. This project is a little weighty because it has the interfacing on it, or stabilizer, whatever you want to call it. So it's making it want to move away. So it's a good thing I have a flat surface, because even on the edges, it's still wanting to hang off. And without a seam guide, you know, I'm struggling to keep it straight. So I got to make sure it does not try to, you know, wander away from me. All right. All right, so I'm going to press this, and then we'll add the top and bottom, and then we'll do the other border, the 3 1/4 border. Huh? What? Yeah. What about it? 2.5 inch. I cut my purple pieces 2.5 inch. So I made the table runner with 2 inch because I really didn't want a big, huge table runner. Like, I don't want it to be wider than this. This is wide enough. But this is a wall hanging, so it didn't matter. So I put the 2.5 inch because, again, it's a wall hanging and it doesn't need to be, shrunk. You know, wall hangings can be all the way up to, shoot, you can hang a giant quilt on the wall if you wanted. But, you know, when I do my small ones, I try to keep them like 38 inches or less. This puddle just slides everywhere. This is traditional. This project is applique. All right, the whole thing's on the table. Fold it on top of itself, nice and flat. Toss that aside. Okay, one more of these, and then we'll move on to that pretty blue. All right, I'm gonna press, and then we'll put the blue on. So far, that's so adorable.
That is cool.
All right, so now
I don't know which one's cooler, the purple or the blue.
these, even though I cut the amount I did off of it, these should now be well oversized. So I have 4 of these now, and they're going to go all the way around. And there might just be enough for me to bind it with this too. This blue. We'll see. And no, I'm not using the knee lift, because this machine, they put the knee lift kind of over that way some, and every time I sit while I'm on camera, I'm kind of more this way so that I'm not hiding behind the machine all the way. Again, if these aren't perfect, it's only because I can't sew straight. Like literally, I can see it bowing. If I sewed slower, I probably could, but you know, I don't do that.
Maybe you're not going fast enough is the issue.
Yeah,
You're on the
it's
right
not
gear
fast
sheet.
enough. That's probably why.
For you, it needs to be fast.
Yeah, it needs to be a faster machine. But if I did sew slow, no, I got it. I'm quick. It's a heavy project. It's gonna fall.
Throwing it on the floor to me.
Yep,
Huh?
it's just gonna fall. So much weight. Stabilizer adds just a little bit more weight then. All right, so I'm gonna grab another one. I'm gonna cut the selvage off real quick. These are 3 1/4 inch, by the way, that I'm doing. For the second border, same as I did on that. I just changed the sashing size. If you got to use your arm and your elbow and everything to hold everything because it's heavy, do it. I tend to do it often, even on the other Juki. All right, fully on the table. This what? Oh, my small iron is a Sunbeam. It's there's a model number or something on the bottom. Scott's gonna show it on camera just in case. I think they sell them at Walmart. I think Walmart is the place to get those. It's just a little thing. Right. Now I'm going to cut the selvage off of this and this one because they just, it's better to just pre-cut it off real quick. That way all I have to do is sit here and sew it on and then one final press. I think I need a new blade. It might have a ding in it. It keeps catching just one little spot on everything I do. All right, so we're going to do one and then the other. Let's see if I can sew straight if I go slower. Let's see. Let's see. It's not going to happen. Line it up. Back stitch. All right. Let's see if I can go slower. Yeah, I don't. It still wants to yank and move sideways. I'm not going to sew slow. You know me, Speedy Gonzalez. All right, once the full thing is on the table.
Oh, you'll still be done half an hour early.
I'm going to go ahead, fold it, cut it to size. Toss that over there. Back stitch. Turn it around. Turn around. Every gnome again, I get a little bit crazy.
Every gnome is driving you wild.
Sorry.
There's gnomes.
Hello. That was supposed to backstitch, but it kept going forward. Okay. I guess there was a glitch on the backstitch. Funny, right? Glitch backstitch. Come on, stay up. You're so heavy. This is so cute, I might want to keep it for myself. You know how many wall hangings I have, my friends? I have wall hangings coming out of my ears. There's so many of them. Oh, I keep way too much stuff. All right, a little bit left, and then I'll press it. We'll see how big it is, and then I will hang it on the wall. Well, that backstitched. Why didn't it do it the other? Oh, and I'm almost out of bobbin in here. That lasted all of last time's. So I put this bobbin in here. I'm just going to tell you about pre-wound bobbins for a second. I put this pre-wound bobbin in here when I started the gnomes the last time. So that means I appliqued all of these gnomes, and stitched everything, and it still has about, I don't know, a little bit less than a quarter of a bobbin left. Like, that's a lot. There's a lot of thread on pre-wound bobbins. I didn't realize pre-wound. I don't use pre-wounds. Well, I do because it's in this machine, but when I'm out of them, I'm not going to purposely go buy them.
You wind your own.
Yeah, I just wind my own. It's a lot easier because then I can change all the thread colors and I don't have to buy a bunch of different ones. And if the tension is not good, it's always good to have a matching thread color in the bobbin. Because I can just tell you from experience, I've long arm quilted for people. Nothing against their stitching or anything or how they piece their project, but I give constructive criticism, and if someone's tension is off, I tell them so that they know to check their machine. Alrighty. Oh, well, how big is this thing?
It's a gnome away from gnome.
Yeah, that's a gnome away from gnome.
32? Is it a square?
Yeah, it's probably exactly 32 by 32. Yep, 32,
Yep.
32. All right, let me scoot this down.
Gnomes.
We're going to go a little bit down with this so that you can see both projects. So you can make...
Do all Jukies use the same bobbin?
No, all Jukies do not use the same bobbin. The TL series do. The HZL F series, they do not. They use a totally different one. These are set down in bobbins and not a metal casing bobbin. All right, two projects, same color gnome mushroomy thing parts, but two totally different projects. Okay, look at that. I'll step out of the way so that you can see my beautiful gnome projects. So this one's 32 by 32, and this was what, 50? What'd you say, 54 or something?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was like 50 something by 18 or 19 or something like that. $19 by 53. It's so adorable. And yes, it's hanging crooked because I can't hang anything straight either. I'm just not a very straight person. Everything I do is crooked or wonky.
Oh, it looks good.
I try.
It's amazing.
All right.
It's amazing.
And due to the fact that you guys are probably watching from a cell phone, I'm going to bring the camera up close so that you can see my lovely gnomes. So give me 2 seconds. And you're going to see things. There we go. Look how cute. We got a little light purple one and a maroon one. I should have thought about that though, because of the contrast right there, but it looks good. And then a blue and a yellow. green, blue. Green and blue. And you know, I'm going to bring the camera up. When I quilt this, just so that you guys know, I'm going to do some pointing here with my finger. When I quilt these, so I will echo around the outside of the applique, and then I will also stitch on the stitch line. So let me see how close I can get so you guys can see this. So see how the stitch takes that tack in? So I will take my stitch on the long arm right on the inside, creating one solid stitch all around each of this. And that way everything right here is fully tacked, all of this. So I'll be on the edge of that. And then this one, I'll probably just like, I don't know, meander in the backgrounds of it and then do something in the sashing in the border, you know, same with the table runner. I won't go too much, but I'll definitely meander around it. I'm going to stitch on the inside right here. I can even do something in it if I want to. I don't know if I want to go that far with it, but I would if I could, but I don't really want to on these because I want to kind of preserve them as a whole. Just quilt in all this empty space and then do something cool in the sashing and the borders. So there that is. Let's take another trip back. Camera's moving. Moving the camera, moving. All right, let me plug y'all back in. Anybody have any questions or anything while we're still here? Because I finished a little early. I thought that both the projects would take longer, honestly, on this machine. I thought that I'd be here longer because this machine is slower. But I guess not.
Where did that daggone magnet go?
I don't know where the magnet is.
It's
I don't
not under
see
it
it.
anywhere?
No, I don't see it or feel it. I mean, obviously I'll look after the live, but it's not over here at all. You know, for the life of me, things just disappear on me. Heck, it could be magnetized to something and we're just not realizing it. You know, because that's how things work in my life. Anyway, any questions? Did you see any? All right. So now you know what you can do with the gnomes from that book. You just make gnomes and go crazy with table runners, wall hangings. You can make matching placemats to go with your table runners. Oh, that's a good idea. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to skip out on that. But I could. If I had enough of this fabric, I would probably make little table placemats too. But I don't have any more of this or these. I have a little bit of this, but I think I'm done with the gnomes for now because there's other gnomes in the book that I want to do. But yeah, you don't have to stick with the patterns that are in books. You can do what you want. You can make them the size you want. You can cut all the pieces however you want. It's up to you. It's your choice, your project. And like I always say, have fun with it. Okay, let's see. I don't see any. Bottom of my chair metal. Oh, if it fell, did it land on the chair? I will look. I don't see it. Nope, it's not on that. Everything that falls usually falls in my trash can. So Scott looked in the trash can. It wasn't there. It's not magnetized to any of the legs. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. That's okay. And if I don't find it, I have an extra other than my straight one. Because, you know, Scott bought me a bunch. So. Yep. Because of this. They just disappear. Things walk off. They have legs.
They're cheap on Walmart.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm done. I will get these quilted all on my own when I get some time because I've been doing client stuff lately and my new bobbin case hasn't came in the mail yet. And I have 1, 2, 3 projects that need to be quilted right there and a whole pile in there. You don't even want to know how many are in there. So
30.
30, yeah. There's a lot. There's so many. There's more than 30 because now they're on the floor. I don't have no more hangers. I'm gonna have to go steal some from the garage unless there isn't any left in there. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go. It's time to eat anyway, and get ready for nap. And when Scott feels like turning this off, he'll turn it off.
How do you accomplish everything you need to with your health issues?
How do I accomplish everything I need to with my health issues? I don't. I don't accomplish everything. What you see me doing here on camera is the accomplishment. When I'm off camera, my fabric room is exploded right now because I have everything pulled out of everywhere because I'm cutting scraps to make something. I'm working on a project that I'll probably bring to you guys idea wise in a video. I'll film a video for it. But it's a mess from that. Other than that, other than organizing and little sewing here and there, I mainly sew on camera. When I do sew little projects or long arm quilting, I do it on my own feel good time. So when I feel good, this is how, when my clients send me quilts, they know nobody ever asks me, hey, I need this next week, because they know that it's not going to happen. I do all the things as I feel good. Does that make any sense? And whether I feel good or bad, I'm on camera. So my butt hurts from sitting on it today. Again, but I'm still here with you guys. I've been here no matter what. So yeah, that's how I accomplish things. I just do what I do when I can do it.
Yeah,
All right. That's it? All done?
Wow.
Okay. Bye.
Both of my toes.
Toodles. I'll gnome at you later.
See you on Easter or Sunday.
I'll see you on Sunday for Easter, where we do a special vintage project.